Hey, I'm Stephanie, and it's time to talk about makeup. Welcome to Makeup Monday and my Sephora haul. Now, if you have been watching me for a while, you might be asking yourself, how is it that Stephanie is doing a Sephora haul when this whole year, essentially, she's on a makeup no-buy? And the answer is, I cheated, but not on my no-buy. I cheated on my haul. Now, hear me out. I think my reasoning is kind of logical, sort of, I guess. Basically, right now, Sephora is having their annual spring sale. And so everybody and their brother and sisters are posting their Sephora hauls. And I am having a wonderful time living vicariously through you, swatching things and smearing things on your faces, and I'm loving it. But if I'm being honest, it's also giving me an itsy bitsy teeny weeny tiny case of FOMO. And to combat that FOMO and any potential temptation to break my no-buy, I decided I would shop my stash instead of shopping Sephora, and I did it with the constraint that anything that I chose from my makeup kit to put in this Sephora box had to be something that I could have potentially bought from Sephora. And so that way, it's kind of like I shopped at Sephora. And so basically what happened was I went through the Sephora app and I looked at all of the things that I've been lusting after. Some of them I've been lusting after for years. Some of them are relatively new temptations. And I searched for an entire face of makeup. But instead of putting those items in my cart, every single time I found something that I wanted to potentially buy, I would then walk over to my vanity and I would pluck something from my makeup kit that I already own that in some way, shape, or form was similar to that thing that I really want on Sephora. And then I would put it in my box. And in the end, I had this whole collection, a whole face of makeup of things potentially from Sephora that I could put on my face. So that's what I did. I shopped my stash and then I smeared it all over my face. If that sounds like it might be an interesting video to you, then stay tuned. As a side note, if you see me looking over in this direction today, it's just because I need to augment my somewhat limited brain capacity today with some notes, and they're pinned right there. The very first thing that I looked at on the app was a product that I've actually been tempted to buy several times. It's always in my cart during every sale, but I've never actually pulled the trigger on it. And it is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Highlighter Wand in the shade Spotlight. The finish looks beautiful. The color looks beautiful. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and the way they describe it just seems like something I would really like. I've just never been able to pull the trigger on it because I have this. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow, which can be used as a highlighter or a primer. And today I used it as a highlighter primer. So basically, I put it on the tops of my cheekbones as one of the first steps in my makeup routine today. And that's actually how I've been using most cream and liquid highlighters lately, underneath my foundation, because I feel like it just gives a very natural looking glow. So that's what I did today. This shade is a tad bit dark for me. In the original shade range, shade 3, which is this one, was the best match. She's since expanded the range, and now I think the better match would be 2.5, but look how massive this bottle is. Like, I don't know that I'm ever going to go through it, and if I don't go through it, I'm not going to let myself get a different shade. So for now, I'm just going to use this and enjoy it. The next step in my makeup routine of late has been to use either a cream bronzer or cream contour or both. So the next thing I looked for was potential cream bronzers, and I found one that honestly has also been an in and out of my cart over the last couple of sales, and that is the Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzer Cream in the shade Light. The reason I haven't picked it up is because I already have cream bronzers and contour products. You already know that if you've been watching my Project Pans. But today I thought I would pick out one that I've actually been itching to use. I just haven't really been using it enough because it hasn't been in a project. And that is my Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. This is so nice. I'm so glad that I broke it out today to use it because it was so much fun. It goes on really nicely. I just really enjoy it. So yay. Who needs Tantour when you already have like 3 other cream bronzers. Another product that I've been wearing underneath my foundation recently has actually been cream blush because I feel like it looks even more natural than on top of foundation. I mean, I wear it both ways, but I don't know, like today I was in the mood to wear underneath, so that was the next thing I looked for. And this cream blush has been calling my name ever since it came out. It is the Armani Beauty Neo Nude Color Melting Cream Blush. And I like the kind of brown looking shades because I don't have anything like that in cream or powder format. And what I like about this is it's a matte finish in a cream blush, and that just kind of intrigued me. I haven't been able to like swatch it or see it in person, but I have a feeling based on like the website and the pictures that like maybe the 22 Deep Brown would be nice. And so I wanted to try to find something at least remotely similar in my collection, which was hard because I don't really have anything like that, which is why I think this is actually one of those things that I really would have purchased if I weren't on a no-buy right now. Like when it comes to like something like the Huda Tantour product, I have other cream bronzers and cream contours right now. So like, I don't feel the need to get that. So even though like I'm kind of wondering what it would be like to have it, I probably wouldn't have actually purchased it. But this, I think I would have purchased it had I been able to because I don't have anything similar to it. And the thing in my collection that came closest to it was this Patrick Ta Double Take Cream Blush in the shade She's So LA. This is more terracotta than brown. It's got like more red in it than I think the Armani Beauty blush does, but it's the closest I could come up with. So that's what I chose. And it's really nice. I really enjoy this blush, especially in the summer. So I did have fun using it today. Next up, we have concealer, and I have been chomping at the bit to try the Kosas Revealer Concealer in the right shade ever since I purchased the wrong shade. I think I'm shade 3.20, and if I weren't on a low buy, this is definitely something I would have picked up during the sale because I really enjoy the finish of it. I've had enough time to try out the wrong shade and use it as a foundation, and I really think it'd be fun to try it as a concealer in the right shade. But since I am on a low buy, instead I substituted it with this one. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. I have it in the shade 1N, which at this time of year is a brightening concealer in the right shade for me. And I feel like this has a similar finish and a similar consistency. It is a tad bit heavier. And in a foundation, like such a minor difference might not be a really big deal, but I feel like because the under eye skin is so much thinner than it is everywhere else on the face, that slight difference can actually have a relatively large impact. And so that's why I think I would definitely purchase that, even though I have a very nice concealer in this one already. Because I have the wrong shade of the Kosas concealer and I have been using it as a foundation, I'm actually really intrigued to try the Kosas, what is it called? The Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation with SPF 25. Because I just feel like, I like the concealer so much and the foundation is supposed to go with the concealer. So I feel like maybe it's right up my alley. But this is one of those things that I wouldn't have purchased even if I wasn't on a no-buy right now, despite the sale, simply because at the moment I currently have enough foundations that I need to be using up. So I wouldn't have purchased it anyway. But what I substituted it with was my Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup with SPF 45. So even more SPF, which is even better. The reason I chose this one is because I feel like it has kind of similar claims. They're both radiant. They both have skincare benefits. They both have SPF. I like this one. It's not my favorite foundation of all time, but I'm definitely going to enjoy using it up. This year has been the year of discovering powder for me. I never really used to use powder all that much, and this year I've really been learning about it. I've been given several powders, and so I've been kind of experimenting with all of them, and I have to say, I get it now. I'm starting to understand powder. And there's several actually that I'm interested in trying, but I think that the one at the top of my list right now is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder in the shade 2, I think. I'm not sure if like a perfect shade match is really super important in that particular product because it is supposed to be translucent, but I think shade 2 would probably be good for me, at least right now, this time of year. And I like the claims of that, the fact that it's supposed to be very lightweight, it's supposed to be pretty much invisible because like I don't want to look like I'm wearing powder. I just want to have like a slightly mattified finish, just to cover up any imperfections, like, the pores in my T-zone. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people who really like that Dior Backstage powder also like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. And I happen to have a mini of it here. And so I used it today, and I feel like it is very lightweight, and it doesn't look like I can't really see the powder that much. I can see it a little bit, especially like right here, where the skin like is a little bit thinner. I feel like I can see the powder there, but it's not like a huge deal. I feel like if I were to spray my face with some setting spray, it would soak right in. So, I had fun using this, but part of me is wondering now if the Dior Backstage powder would be better. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I would have bought this or not. I think I probably would have looked at my cart total and then based my decision on that. As a side note, when I was applying that powder underneath my eyes and right next to my nose, I was using a Sephora Pro brush. The one that I used today was the Pro Featherweight Crease Brush, which is number 38. It's actually an eyeshadow brush, but I, use it for powder because why not? I don't know that I would have purchased a brush, but there have been several sales where I did purchase a Sephora Pro brush because I actually think that they're a really good deal, and I haven't found a Sephora Pro brush yet that I don't like. I don't know that I need any brushes right now, so I don't know that I would have purchased one, but just as a side note, I like these things. One of the essential steps in my makeup routine is eyeshadow primer because I've got difficult eyelids. I've got deep set hooded eyes, oily eyelids, so like eyeshadow does not want to stay on my eyes. And like I have found that like the best combination to date tends to be like something like the Urban Decay or Milani eye primer combined with a MAC paint pot. If I use that as a base, most eyeshadows will stick. But there is one primer that outshines them all currently for me, and that is the Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Artistry Wand. I consider this the big guns. If I am having like a super hard time getting any sort of thing to stay on my eyes, this is always the last thing I resort to because it's the most expensive one that I have, but man, it works every time. It really does intensify the way eyeshadow looks, but it will also make almost anything stick to the eyelids. And in my case, that's kind of a miracle. I wouldn't have purchased this during the sale because I already have it. But I mean, this is worth a mention because I'm super impressed with it. And it's kind of hard to impress me with eyeshadow primer because it's not one of those like sexy things that I enjoy using. It's just kind of like a staple tool, but wow, does it work. When it comes to eyeshadow, that is my vice. There's just something about it. I see it and I just want to smear it all over my face, my whole body, my room. I want to paint my walls in it. I don't know what it is. I just want to dip my fingers in it and I just never want to stop. But the reality is I don't smear my whole body in it. I only put it on my eyes, and I only have 2 tiny little eyes, so I don't need any more eyeshadow right now. So even if I wasn't on a low buy, I probably wouldn't have purchased any, even though I probably would have wanted all of it. But that's not stopping several eyeshadow palettes from calling my name. One of them is the Tom Ford Eye Color Cream Eyeshadow Quad, especially the one in Smoky Quartz. The other one, the brighter one, the like tiger eyes one, I think is called. That one's also yummy looking, but I think the Smoky Quartz would be more of like an everyday thing for me. And I don't know if it's because they're cream colors or what, but that one, it's just like, it's making my mouth water. So yeah, I'm not getting it. So I decided I would pull out another Tom Ford quad. This one is shade 4 Honeymoon, and it's his famous wet dry formula. And this color story is really honestly up my alley. And I really like the finishes. There's not a single matte shadow in here, but it doesn't matter because these shimmery shadows, like the shine that's in these is so refined that it doesn't matter. Like, they don't look over the top. They don't look loud. They don't look too sparkly or glittery. They just look nice. And I enjoy wearing this whenever I wear it. So I was really happy to break it out and enjoy it today. As for eyeliner, I tend to prefer gel liners, and my favorite formula to date is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. I don't think I would have purchased one because I have one in a shade that I use all the time. It's alkaline. I think this one, it was limited edition, but they have a similar one called Love Drug, which, I think I'd probably, if I needed to repurchase this, I would probably go for that one. But who knows? Maybe I would have gone crazy and gotten a shade like Freak, which is like bright green with shimmers, or like Chaos, which is like a really vivid, like cobalt blue. I don't know. These are just fun, and they're like my favorites. So if I were to get one, I would ideally want one of these in every color, because I'm the sort of person, like, I don't necessarily want like 5 brown eyeliners. I mean, that's my most worn shade is brown, but like a matte brown and a sparkly brown, like that's enough as for gel liners for me. But like having one in every color of the rainbow would be really exciting, because for the most part, I do neutral eyeshadow. Every once in a while, I pop in a colorful look, but for the most part, it's neutral. But if I do add just a pop of color, it tends to be in the liner. So like the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencils, one in every shade would be a dream. I kind of wish that I could purchase a brown liquid eyeliner, because as much as I love gel eyeliners, they don't do the best job at getting in between the lashes, because the formula is usually just a little bit too thick. They're great for smudgy lines, but like a liquid liner is always going to give you that precision, and like especially with like a nice brush tip, it's going to get really nicely in between the lashes. And if I could, right now, I would probably purchase the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in dark brown, just because the brown eyeliner that I currently have is a disappointment. This is the, The ZC Dear Autumn Air Ink Eyeliner. It's in the shade brown, and it bleeds like crazy. So I have to use like a gel liner, and then if I want to use this, otherwise it'll like bleed up my entire eyelid. But it's not just the application that bothers me, it's the packaging itself, because it has it comes out like this sometimes. Like, it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to come out like that, right? But no, like if sometimes I'll twist it just a little bit and then the whole thing comes out, and that just really, that bugs me to no end. But the thing is, this comes with a refill. So even though this one I think is almost all the way used up, there's still a refill that came with it. So I'm going to be tortured with this product probably until the end of the year. So that's just the way that is. But, there are worse things in life than having a bad eyeliner. When it comes to mascara, I highly doubt I would have purchased one from the Sephora sale, simply because I'm unwilling to pay the price of high-end mascaras. If a tube of mascara is open for more than 3 months, it is dead to me. Like, I tossed them. I once had a very bad experience with an old mascara. I think it was like 5 months old. I used to just like use a tube of mascara up until it was gone. No more because of that experience. And so I'm not willing to pay for one. If I was, I would probably go for the Ilia Fullest Volumizing Mascara, just because the aesthetic it appears to give the lashes seems to be really nice. Like, it's volumizing and fluffy, and yet also it defines the lashes. It just looks very nice. I don't know if it would do that on my eyelashes, because I tend to wear waterproof mascara, because mascaras smudge on me, and that one's not waterproof, but it would be fun to try. It's just, I'm just not willing to pay that price. In fact, even drugstore mascaras, I wait till they're on sale. Like, I don't feel like spending more than like $6 on a mascara, because I toss them after 3 months. The only mascara that I currently have open is the L'Oreal Voluminous Waterproof Mascara in black and brown, and I like it. It does the job. When it comes to brows, I have actually been tempted by the Urban Decay Brow Blade Waterproof Eyebrow Pencil and Ink Stain for a long time, because it's got a pen and a pencil, and it's waterproof. So that idea really intrigues me. But if you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll know that I am currently haunted by the never-ending brow pencil. People will be writing sagas about the lasting power of this pencil, because it's literally been around for 18 years and it's still going strong. It's just a little nubbin now, but I swear it's going to take me till at least to the end of the year to finish using it. So So I don't need a brow pencil right now. I wouldn't purchase one. But because I was constraining myself to only use Sephora products in this video, I chose a product that I do have. This one was given to me. I was a brow model for It Cosmetics a couple of years ago, and they gave me one of the Brow Power pencils that I was modeling. And I have to say, like, I like this. The color is really nice. The consistency is nice. It works well. But there are some things that I don't like about this. For example, the fact that there's like one end of this is a pencil and the other end of it is a spoolie. But you'll notice that the cap is the same at both ends. So I'm constantly opening the wrong end and like I'll want the spoolie and get the pencil and vice versa. And the second thing I don't like about it is actually user error. So it's not the fault of the pencil itself, but I dropped this at some point and the actual like pencil part of it broke. And so the tip can actually fall out, like if I hold it upside down. And every time it falls out, I just disinfect it and then put it back in and it works fine. Like I can still, I can still dispense the product just like normal. Like if I roll it up, I can still do that. So that's not an issue. The only problem is, now I'm just going to put the cap on the pencil end for a second. I'll take it off the spoolie end. Now, say I am applying the brow product as one does, and then I want to, kind of mush it around with the spoolie. The second I go like this to do the spoolie thing, this end is pointing downwards, which means the pencil part falls out. So I constantly have to be putting the cap back on while I'm using it. So it's like not the best, but that's my fault. I shouldn't have let gravity take over and throw this to the ground. When it comes to brow gels, I've been on the search for like the perfect one for a long time, but I haven't found it yet. I want it to be, tinted, volumizing, and I want it to have a super firm hold. And it's funny because you wouldn't think that I would need a super firm hold because my brows are so fine. Like I have friends that have really wiry, willful brows that just want to do their own thing. So they need like a super strong product to like, make sure that they can get those brows under control. And the thing is, I would ask them for help, but all of them happen to like the laminated brow look, which looks great on them. But I feel like it doesn't suit me. Like I'm not into the laminated brows on my face. Like I want 3D fluffy brows that like stay in place with super firm hold. And like I just haven't found that yet. So I was thinking of trying the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Waterproof Tinted Eyebrow Gel in the shade Deep Blonde. Number one, it's tinted, and I feel like my fine light blonde eyebrows need all the help they can get, and like coating them in a layer of color is very helpful because at the moment, like if I don't have anything in them, my eyebrows completely disappear at the first sign of a photon like 10 miles from here. Like they just disappear into nothingness. So like a tint is important. It's also waterproof, and I'm hoping to get back to performing soon, and under stage lights, waterproof makeup is a big help. So I'd like that. And Makeup Forever has never let me down. I don't have like a whole lot of Makeup Forever stuff, but the stuff that I do have works really well. And so I'm kind of hoping maybe that's the answer. But since I'm on a low buy and I do have brow gel left, I'm not purchasing one. And this is a sample I got of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And it's fine. It's clear, so not ideal for my blonde brows. But I mean, it holds them in place relatively well. Not as stiff as I'd like, but I'll use it up. When it comes to bronzer, I really want the Gucci one. It's the Gucci Poudre de Beauté Éclat Soleil, which if you speak French, you're probably either hysterically laughing or crying because of that pronunciation. But I think the shade O2 Light would probably be my shade right now. And I don't just like it because of the packaging. I think that the finish sounds really nice. It's got kind of like a nice sheen to it. I think the tone is really nice. But I do have bronzers with sheen in them with a nice tone. So even if I wasn't on a no buy, I wouldn't be purchasing it as much as I'd like to, because I have a bronzer like this one. I feel like this is a similar tone, a similar finish. It's the Sun Bunny bronzer from Too Faced, and I'm a beach bunny, so I feel like a Sun Bunny bronzer is just like made for me. So I don't need the Gucci one. I've got a Sun Bunny. But there is a blush that I think I would buy if I wasn't on a low buy, and that's the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Divine Powder Blush in the shade Flirtatious. And the reason I'm so interested in that shade is because of the finish. It's got like this really beautiful sheen to it without having any shimmer in it. And the shade, it's a very nude, but a very light nude, like a beigey color, but it's pink leaning. And my current favorite blush for this time of year is the Clinique Cheek Pop blush in the shade Nude Pop. And I feel like this has kind of a similar finish. And it's nude and it's light, just like Flirtatious, but this one is peach based and the other one is pink based, like a warm pink. And I feel like, I realize it's splitting hairs, but I just feel like I would notice the difference. And I'm all about that in makeup. Like, I don't mind if it's splitting hairs. Like, if I see the difference, then I'm happy. And so, like, I think that's one that I would really enjoy. So I think I would probably purchase it. I'm just not gonna, because I'm on a low buy. We're now down to the last 3 products and the very last complexion product, powder highlighter. Now, when it comes to powder highlight, I haven't been wearing it all that much recently, but that doesn't stop me from lusting after it from time to time. And the one that I'm currently kind of eyeing is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Multi-Glow Face and Eye Highlighter Palette. The finish looks beautiful. The colors look gorgeous, from like even the way it's like pressed in the pan and the packaging. It's like the whole thing is just scrumptious looking. But, you know, because I haven't been wearing a whole lot of powder highlight, I don't think I would buy it even if I wasn't on a low buy, even during the sale, because I do have other powder highlights like this one. This is Becca's Champagne Pop, and I know that Becca went out of business, but they did get bought by Smashbox, and this is one of the products and shades that Smashbox is continuing to make. So this is the one that I use today on my inner corner, my brow bone highlight, and on my cheeks, and it's pretty. So I enjoyed it. As for lipstick, I already have the formula that I want, just not in the shade that I want. This is the Givenchy Le Rouge Sheer Velvet Lipstick. And I have it in shade 16, which is Nude Boisé, and I would like it in shade 10, Beige Nude. And I actually tried buying it in shade 10 several times last year, but it was just always sold out. And now that it's back in stock, I'm on a low buy. So such is life. I'll just have to live with this beautiful color instead. The reason I want the Beige Nude is because I'm like a truly nude lipstick kind of girl. And this one is like, it's still a beautiful kind of nude-ish lipstick, but it's pink. It's like definitely a pink lipstick on me. And I like it. I think it's beautiful, but I think, like it in shade 10 even better. What I like about this formula is that it's so blurring. It literally looks like your lips are out of focus when you put it on. It's just really strange, but it's so comfortable to wear. It's just like, I really love it. It's just a soft looking lipstick. And I really like the smell of it. Like a lot of European fashion houses will like dump tons of like perfume into their makeup. So like when you put on foundation or you put on a lipstick, it's literally like you're dousing yourself in perfume and it's horrible. This has like the faintest pleasant smell. It's really hard to describe. It's very sweet, slightly floral. It's almost like a pleasantly singed dessert, if that sounds like it makes sense. It's very nice. I like it. It kind of makes my mouth water. And the good thing is it's so faint that you can't taste it. Like, I hate it when you can taste the fragrance in your lipstick. This one doesn't do that. It's great. And the packaging is also really pretty, but not super practical because it's got like velvet on the outside. So it's like super pretty, but anybody who ever had an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette with the velvet on the outside knows that the velvet's probably going to get pretty dirty looking. So I've tried to keep mine pristine, but I don't know how long I'll be able to do that. I do really, really like this, and I would love it in shade 10, I think. I've never actually tried it because I've never found it in stock, but just from like all the swatches that I've seen, I think shade 10 in Beige Nude would be like right up my alley. And the very last thing I looked at in the Sephora app was a fragrance. It was the Jo Malone London Wood Sage and Sea Salt Cologne, which I absolutely love. And I know that I love it because I have a sample of it. And so don't ask me why I was looking at a full size of it when I still have some here in my hand that I can wear, that I have been wearing. I do not need to go out and purchase a full-size bottle of anything if I already have some. And I mean, it would be one thing if I went through fragrance really fast, but right now I'm working from home. Like, there's nobody here to smell me but me right now. I just need one spritz and that's enough. Like, and what I'll be doing is I'll put it on the back of my hand, and then I'll just like rub the back of my hands together. And then like, if I happen to be, answering some mundane business emails during the day and I'm getting kind of bored, I'll just go, ooh, I smell so good. And it just brightens my day and makes me happy. And it's like such a little thing, but I really enjoy it. But I mean, like, look how much I have left. This thing is almost full. I mean, I've probably used it maybe 15 times by now. So like, at this rate, it's going to take me a whole year to get through this little thing. Like, what am I thinking? I need the full size. Doesn't matter how much I like it. I still have so much of it left. Crazy lady. But in the spirit of this exercise, I thought I should pick out a fragrance that I have a full-size bottle of to use. And I wanted to have one that was kind of equivalent. This one is very sea salty and fresh and very springy to me. And this one is also very springy to me in a totally different way because it's floral, so it's a totally different scent. But because they both remind me of spring, I thought it would be appropriate. This is Gucci Flora. And I like this for so many reasons. I love the way it smells. I love the way it wears on me. I love the lasting power. I love the pretty bottle. And most of all, I love that my mom and I bought this together. Like, I have a bottle and she has a bottle. And like, so it reminds me of her every single time I see it or smell it. So it just makes me happy in a bunch of ways. And so this is what I'm wearing today. And it makes me happy. So how did this exercise benefit me? Well, let's take a look back at exactly what I did. I had a ton of fun window shopping on the Sephora app, and I found a full face of makeup, 19 items that I'm sure would be beautiful, that I would really enjoy smearing all over my face if I had them in my hands right now. But the reality is I found dupes for most of those things in the makeup that I already own. So I ended up getting a similar effect to what I could have bought with things that I already have here. And there's a lot of benefits to that other than just like saving money. And that is that, first of all, I get use out of things that I already own. And I mean, I've already spent the money. I already have these things. So using them, there's a certain pleasure in that to really make sure that I'm getting like every last drop of goodness out of them. So there's that. There's also the fact that several of these items I haven't used in a while because I tend to rotate things, and these items hadn't been in rotation for a while. And so I had an excuse to pull them back into rotation, and I kind of was reminded of how wonderful they are. So I had a lot of fun doing that. And the last benefit is kind of like one for the greater good, and that is the less stuff that I buy, the less packaging is produced on my behalf, the less emissions for delivery and stuff on my behalf. So, I did something good for the environment. At least I like telling myself that. But it wasn't just those things. Let's take a look at the 19 items. If I wasn't on a low buy, do I think it's realistic that I would have bought all 19 of those things? And the answer is, for me personally, no, I wouldn't have bought all 19 of those things. I think realistically speaking, in a best case or worst case scenario, depending on how you define it, I think I ultimately would have probably bought 5 things in like a big sales haul, like if I really went on a splurge. And I think that would have been the Armani blush, the Kosas concealer, the Dior powder no powder, the Pat McGrath blush, and the Givenchy sheer velvet lipstick. I think that would have been my haul. And as beautiful as all of those things would be, and as wonderful as it would be to own them, I would have had to spend, because it was on sale, $174 with tax to own those 5 things. So that means that ultimately, because I would have been buying these things on sale, that I would save $19. So because I shopped the sale, I save $19. But if I just shop my stash like I did today, I save all $174 because I didn't even buy those 5 items. So shopping the sale, I save $19. Shopping my stash, I save $174. And that's just kind of a reminder of, I think, like the sale mentality that I think it's very easy to slip into, thinking, oh, a sale is going to save me money. And yeah, I mean, in a certain sense, it does. If there was something you're going to buy anyway, and then you wait for a sale, then you save money. But in my case, like I don't have to buy any of those things. None of them are necessities. So shopping my stash saves me a lot more money. And I forgot how much joy that brings. Even though I'm sure I would have had a ton of joy from those 5 items, I have a whole lot of joy knowing that that $174 did not leave my bank account. It is still here. I can use it for other things. I don't even know what I'll use it for yet. I'm so excited. So, like it was just a nice reminder. So I felt like I did something good for the environment. I felt like I did something good for my bank account. I got to enjoy the things that I already have and get a lot of use out of them and feel like I'm getting every last drop of the things that I already own and I'm like making use of it. So all in all, I had a really fun day. This is a really fun project. I hope it was as much fun for you to watch as it was for me to make. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that you have a wonderful week and that we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.